You're good.
Right. Oh.
Are good. Took a break the last couple of days, but
Okay.
came
That's good.
back yesterday. Have you talked to Peters?
I was going to, but I think I had like 5 minutes. He was doing like construction out here, and I was putting out legislation. I know there was a prison thing.
He
Oh fuck.
he seemed pretty on edge yesterday. I wanted just to see if you had spoken to him, if you got that vibe too. I'm trying to think about, like, I spoke with Trig. I asked Trig to try to support him and to see if he can help him with delegating. Because
He's dog shit at that.
He is. I think it's
love
one of those
him, but
things
he's not good
where
at it.
he cares so much, and he wants to make sure everything is good, and he takes it on himself because he knows he can do it, but he doesn't necessarily trust other people can do it, right? And then he gets overwhelmed.
Yep. That's what I'm dealing with Corolla right now, actually.
And what I was explaining to Eric is that, one thing I've learned as chief is I can't.
Very good, but delegation is difficult.
I want the police department to succeed. I think every kind of decision that we make, has that foundation. How does this affect the police department in, the larger picture? But I have to kind of not be emotionally invested in it at the same time, right? And I personally have learned that there's a lot that goes on that I do not put myself in the middle of it, because if I took on too much, I would crash out too. Yeah. And it's just something that I've learned
thing in the 13 months.
Like delegating and learning when to step in and when to just kind of let other people handle situations. And I think that's something that Peters is still working on. But I don't know, just if you see him, maybe just have a chat with him.
I can tell you some things. So his vibe changes on like a day-to-day basis, and I think part of it is he's resetting because he knows it's a lot. He also does take on a lot, and you're right that he doesn't delegate. And that's a big part of it. I think most people do not like delegate well. It's just not something that, I don't know. It's hard too, because there are a lot of people that will not be able to problem solve, right? Like, okay, for example, do you know Maxwell? Are you aware of how much Maxwell does, as an example?
Yeah, I know Maxwell has so much on her plate. Like, she's a rock star, and
she's literally managing both departments, patrol, PNT, bullshit, like 24/7. It's cracked. And I know this because I used to sit in the vehicle with her while write legislation, just to chill or whatever. Similar to how I sit with you and Peter, sit with our officers, and it was insane.
Maxwell, I got on her about delegating, and I get on her every once in a while about not, trying to make sure that she's not taking on too much and that she is utilizing her sergeants and her seniors, which I think she's doing a pretty good job about from what I've seen.
I agree with that 100%. There's times when, you know, Peters wasn't around in shift 1, right? He's on a little vacation. And she literally carried, you know what I mean?
No, she did. I mean, I was around. I was the only high command member around at that time. Everybody else had fucked off.
Vivian's great too, by the way.
And no, Viv's good.
Um,
Stevie's good. Everybody from shift 1 is good. One thing that like Peters kind of crashed out about yesterday was Ruby. And his frustrations with her promotion. Look, nobody is perfect.
okay.
Ruby has said and done some stupid shit in the past.
Yeah.
But I am kind of the mindset that I need to look at people in the now, like what they have been recently doing, right? And when I promoted her, I saw a big shift in her attitude. I saw that she was taking on a lot of what, you know, she was already doing command work. She just didn't have the title. And do I hold past shit that like people have said against them? Or do I look at the work that they're currently doing and the attitude change that they've had and go off of that, right? You know, like, and so that's what I based it off of. But Peters is now telling me that that she's back in her old ways and that she's being passive aggressive and that she's not a good leader. And you know, I asked him for examples and he gave me one. But
have you talked to other people in shift 2?
So that's
or
kind of
one?
what that's what I just talked to Trig about. That I want to talk to Ruby. I want to talk to the other members of command, see what the hell's going on in shift 2.
Yeah.
I want to talk to some officers, not asking them about Ruby, just like what's going on. How are things going? Are things working well? Are they not? And kind of get a better idea. I'm gonna try to patrol during shift 2 to see how things are going. But I can't tell if this is just Peters crashing out or like, I'm sure there's truth to it, but like, from what I can tell, Ruby's been holding down shift 2 and she fucking is so consistent and she works every day and she's the only one that takes out cadets and she's been managing the P&T department. And sure, she's passive aggressive. Who the fuck isn't passive aggressive in the police department?
You don't have to convince me. I know nothing about it right now.
I'm just venting.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I do think that if you want me to be honest,
I do want you to be honest because Peters told me that he thinks it was a terrible mistake that I made to promote her.
I think that if your assistant chief of police wasn't comfortable, you shouldn't have done it. And I say it like this.
And that's what I said to him yesterday, is that I said, look, if you are not comfortable with her, we need to get a new lieutenant because I can't have a member of high command not speak to the lieutenants. That's a breakdown in communication.
Wait, he said he's not going to talk to him?
He said he wants nothing to do with her. Like, he'll talk to her on a professional level, but he wants nothing to do with her. He doesn't like her.
Why?
That's what I was trying to figure out.
So I'm going to just be honest with you. I love Peters. I told you he shouldn't have been nasty. And I love him. But Peters, as much as I love him, and I think he brings so much value to your department, he needs to be able to pass on information. But it gets cooked. You know what I mean? There may actually be good reason. And I actually believe if Peters is saying that, I will probably die on a hill that he has a reason for it. Did you hear me burp, by the way?
I heard like a.
Okay.
Not really.
All right, good.
But
but what I'm saying is, if he's saying that, there's probably a real good fucking reason. But homie
agree with
is so cooked that he probably couldn't explain the why. Because I have this problem occasionally too. You know what I mean? His feelings are right. He's probably been told by 10 people why there's an issue, but he needs to be able to explain that, right?
And like,
I'm not saying take him down, by the way, but I'm just saying
that's the thing that like I was confused about yesterday when I was talking to him, because this is what I was saying to him, that well, maybe I think we should find a new lieutenant, you know? But he was kind of arguing with me about it. It was like, I think he was just cooked. I think he was just crashing out. But I don't know. I'm going to be reviewing everything. I'm probably going to be making a bunch of changes in Shift 2 Command. Just because from what I can tell, it could be functioning better. And I don't think some of the sergeants are quite doing what they need to be doing. So I think I might be swapping people around.
Yeah. Makes sense.
To see if things kind of work better.
Yeah.
But I need to find out how much, I just need to find out what's going on with Ruby. And is this a matter of...
Have you talked to Maxwell?
Not being... A little bit. Maxwell has very clear opinions about... Maxwell doesn't like Ruby.
Do you know why?
I think they kind of butt heads, to be honest.
I'll tell you one thing that's strange about Ruby. And this is more of maybe a bigger PD thing. This is the only thing I can think of. This whole Carmine thing. She put him up to it.
Yeah.
There's no way she's that dumb, right? Genuinely. And if now all of a sudden Carmine's life is depending on it, and I say this because the guy looked like he was gonna fucking, he was done. The way he was talking, the way that everyone was talking, everybody was talking like the guy's getting fired. I don't know what the fuck was told to him or what, but it was pretty bad. To the point that DCSO fucking promoted him into, I don't know what unit they gave him. They gave him some shit at one of the meetings. And it was just like, people felt bad about it. So, how does is she a lieutenant?
Yeah.
How does a lieutenant say, hey, the mayor was shot. Let me go send Carmine Costello to go ask questions about it. Now, I gave Carmine a piece of my mind, right? And I told you the problems I had with it. My problem was, how did your police department send Carmine? Right? Just in the same way, had they sent Peach. I wouldn't want Peach fired over it. I wouldn't want Carmine fired over it. Or Bobby, right? You know your resources. Just like I'm not going to send you, hey, we're doing financial budgeting. I wouldn't have sent you Tilly, right? Imagine I sent you Tilly. You're going to, scream at Tilly about it or be like, Tilly's fucked up? No, you're going to be like, Nino, why the fuck did you send Tilly? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, that's a good point. Yeah, now, I think that these are all things that, I'm going to have to dive into and figure out what the hell's happening. I mean, at the end of the day...
I know the solution.
People...
You ready for this?
Yeah.
As a department, I'm going to shoot straight. Y'all should have handled Frost a long time ago. And you need to bring back some discipline.
Yeah,
because
I agree. I mean, that's what I'm trying to do right now.
I love
trying to set up a fucking high command meeting this weekend, so that way I can get everybody in high command on the same page, and then a command meeting to tell that, to relay to them that I'm not fucking around anymore. And I told Peters
Love it.
this, that if people are not doing basic police work, and this isn't coming from like officers shooting, shooting the shit or just talking crap. This is coming from Eric Trigg, who is like the most empathetic,
Mm-hmm.
understanding man that I know. If he is telling me people are not doing police work, I believe him.
Mm.
And so I have Eric Trigg telling me this. So I've told everybody, I'm done. If people are not doing basic functions of their work, send them off duty. I'm not playing this game
Good.
anymore. Just send them off duty, be done with it, and move on. I tried to get BCSO on the same page and told them,
no, fuck
if
that trash department.
if
No.
there's a BCSO deputy and they're not doing their job, I'm just going to send them off duty. And then they kind of threw a fit about it. And I was like, I don't care. I'm just sending them off duty. I don't care. Or they can go patrol up north. If they're not going to do their job in Los Angeles County, they can fuck off to the north. I don't care.
Love it. And I think more of that is good.
But
I do think, and is that
trying to
often,
I will tell you right now, though, trying to get everybody together in a meeting, and that is the hardest part about all this. It's like herding cats, trying to get people together so I can just relay this. Say it again.
Gotta write like some shit, like what do you call it, like a high command notice.
Yeah,
that's why I write legislation, right? It's the way to communicate.
No, but
I want to make one other thing clear.
You need to have like the meeting, and then you follow it up with the like the written message,
Yeah.
that outlines the expectations.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I think that, look, I think generally speaking, LSPD, nothing is ever going to be perfect. I am shocked that the Carmine firing, which, by the way, I then found out was only in high command knew about it. So I think you might want to question how the fuck that even got around to begin with. But then again, knowing how things are, who knows where they, where that information came from.
Yeah, I mean,
it's hard to know, right?
Like,
all it takes is a meme, and now everyone knows it. You know what I mean? Listen, trust me, I dealt with that 4 months ago. So I don't know which of the two, right? You don't even fucking know. There's no way to know. But the reason I bring up the Carmine thing is, one, I bring that up because you should be hard, right? And restrictive. But like, when you go and like, if there was more to Carmine, fine. Frost, look, I'm gonna be transparent with you, right? I think I think Sky's a snake and just is using you until you're out. That's just, I'm telling you. Told you this for a minute. But I think that you're gonna have moments like this. But the moment you end up putting someone like Carmine in the same bucket as Frost, your edge is lost.
No, the Frost thing and the Carmine thing were completely different situations.
But no one's gonna see that, Daisy, right? They're gonna see boom
like the
at once.
The initial kind of reaction to Carmine, I will just put it bluntly. Carmine shit was very bad timing for Carmine. The Carmine crap happened, on the tail end of the Frost shit, and then also the Gregory Johnson crap. And I don't think I spoke to you about the Gregory Johnson. It was another.
I don't even know who that is.
It's fine. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And Peters reached out to me about Carmine, and I think it was like he brought it up to me, and he was just like, we've had 3 leaks. We need to set like a send a really strong message, basically, like, fuck around, you're gonna find out. And we initially talked about it. We talked about firing him, and then kind of later found out that, like, hadn't really been looked into that much. So that's fine. It's been sorted out now. Obviously Carmine stuff has been dealt with.
Yeah.
But I will say that was on me. I think kind of goes back to I didn't do a good job of kind of reining people in with that. And that's a lot of my job, is just what I was talking to Trig about. Is I feel like my job is 90% just reining people in.
True.
And
It's
so that one definitely, I think, got away from everyone. But no, the Carmine and the Frost stuff, two completely different situations. That Frost shit,
but I want you to
from
understand
the
something.
sounds of it, like, I don't think Carmine was malicious,
Yeah.
but the Frost shit sounded fucking malicious.
The frosting, like, is so obvious, but I want you to consider a perspective, right? You know why you do what you do, right? Just as I know what I'm doing when I do X, Y, and Z. But in both of our cases, right, we take an action. Our direct reports, the public, who does not have unwavering trust in us, is going to read the situation based on the action. You with me?
Yeah.
And what I'm, like, sort of advising you here is that your role still also is political to your own department, whether you like it or not.
Oh,
And
I mean, it like.
And what I'm saying is, when it's Frost and Carmine in the same breath being fired, regardless of it, it's like Carmine seems like an appeasement rather than to get rid of Frost, rather than you see what I'm saying?
I can see what you're saying, but that wasn't it.
I know it's not, because I know you.
I see how that looks like that.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you brought it up.
And I think equally it's important that, keep in mind, like, I don't know, when is the last time you suspended somebody? Right? Probably not a lot, right? Is that these things need to, like, firing, great. I'm glad you fired Frost and Carmine, right? But okay, I'm not glad about Carmine, but whatever. Not my, you know what I mean? Like, I'm glad you guys are taking a heavy stance, but I hope that you also sprinkle in the suspensions.
No, I mean, that's the whole, that's what we're kind of doing right now. I mean, I know sending off duty isn't quite a suspension. It's more of like, get off duty until you decide to do your job.
Well, it's not like it's coming out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but no, I do think, okay, what I tried to explain to Peters when we talked about taking a more heavy stand on discipline, and enforcing standards. So standards have always been there. They just haven't been enforced. And so people think that they can do whatever the fuck they want. And there's no consequences.
yeah.
I think that from what the conversations I've had with command is that they were under the impression we didn't want to send people off duty and we didn't want to suspend people. And I told them that is not the case. Like, send people off duty, suspend them. But I need you to follow up. That's the thing that I think was kind of lost in translation, is you can't just send somebody off duty and be like, you fucked up, go off duty. I need you to explain to them how they messed up and make sure that they understand for next time. It has to be like two-pronged, right? You have to be able to teach somebody and help them get better, but also that the suspension part is the consequences, the weight behind their actions, right? So that's why I want to have a command meeting, because I want to make sure that everybody is on the same page and they understand this is how we want you to operate moving forward. I want it.
Sab, let me call you back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
As long as it's warranted, I want help.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Fix the PD, goddammit!
I'm trying. As long as it's warranted, I want people to be utilizing those tools. Like I'm gonna be honest, Nino, people aren't afraid, and I don't want people to be afraid, but I want people to understand that if they don't do their job, they're not gonna have a job.
Can I be real with you? Actually, I usually am real. You say this, and I think Ellis, I had to hear that BCSO did not go to the I know you might say that you don't care about them or whatever. They didn't attend the Grapeseed games yesterday, and LSPD had to split into 2 teams up there to fill. Those people should not have guns and badges. Those people should not be trusted to protect the people of Los Santos County when they can't protect their own. Please, do not listen to a word they say. And I'm going to be honest with you.
I think
like high key
is good, but I think everybody around Radich is fucking useless.
Yeah, they're just a bunch of ex-LSPD members that wanted an excuse to police without any supervision and do whatever the fuck they wanted. I am going to, well, honestly, they probably fucked over the top candidate for PCSO, Mumble's event. That guy had like so many people. I think they're banking on Bones winning. I will destroy
100%.
Bones in the debate. I will destroy him.
I mean, let's be honest. You'll like, what the fuck is Bones gonna do as mayor? Like,
He's just gonna try to make sure like his homies like fucking can do whatever the fuck they want. Radich is, I think, fantastic. But he's a
Radich
pussy. He's afraid.
He is trying. I think he's just trying to appease everyone, and he isn't at that.
Yeah.
You know, I remember I was trying to make everybody happy for a while.
True.
He hasn't had that. You can't make everybody happy moment yet.
I agree.
And just do the shit that you think is best for your department. You know.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do agree.
But I mean, I had a high command meeting with fucking Radich and Aspen and Peters, and it was a shit show. Like Aspen, I don't even know what to say about her.
Aspen is there to, I mean, you have Aspen and then you have Ventura. These, I'm sure they're nice people or whatever, but
just, like I brought up, you know, the taking a firmer stance on discipline.
Yeah.
I was giving them, I told them that I wanted to give them the ability to discipline LSPD.
No, hell no. What the fuck?
Well, no, listen to me. This goes hand in hand with the fact that, like, if there's a BCSO officer or deputy in Los Santos County, I'm going to send him off duty. I wanted to enable all of command that if you see people fucking around, doesn't matter what department, if they're in Los Santos County, you tell them to fuck off. Tell them to get off duty.
You're not worried about, like...
Well, obviously I have to monitor. If it got too far, you know, but I'm trying to work with them. She shuts it down once, you know, just is like, well, I trust command and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. And at one point she just basically said she wants to just be able to patrol in Los Santos County, doesn't want to deal with like LSPD and
shut up. Nah.
I was like, so you don't want to work with us.
You don't want to patrol your county?
You, like...
She said this.
I asked her, I said, what's the fucking point of your department?
Oh!
What is the point of BCSO?
That's how I felt today. She
couldn't give
Mumbles
me an
was
answer.
so sad. I'll tell you that. You know what I mean? Without me even prompting her. I was pissed after I heard it. Like, I was pissed. Like, they do not deserve their positions when they have no care for the community that they serve. Not even to show up for a LSPD BCSO event. How embarrassing is that? I don't want them down here at all.
I don't want them down here either.
So let's do something about it. Let's literally fucking ban their ass. I'm not even kidding this time. What?
Like,
we already talked about it. Let's get legislation that if you have a certain amount of cops on duty, they can fuck off up north.
Is it 10?
But maybe let's wait. Let's wait till.
Can we make five cops on duty?
I do not give a fuck about these people. There was 50 plus individuals up north. These stupid cunts just farm paychecks, all right? So and get adrenaline rushes down here. They have no value to anybody. They soak up your budget by playing games with bringing like people up north like they're just like a fucking like they literally treat like they're doing oxy runs with suspects. You know what I mean? Like it's fucking disgusting. Now, I'm going to hold myself back. Let's wait for the election. And hopefully someone like with a brain gets elected and they fucking restructure the entire thing. They're trash. They've been trash. Everyone sees like their fucking like pattern of just not giving a fuck about anything other than themselves.
I mean,
there's no chances left. How do you get someone like Radich, which has such a clear mind, and it's still a disaster? You know what I mean? It's rotten to the fucking core.
It's literal brain rot. No, I don't want them in the city. I don't want to deal with them. I don't see like what value they bring to patrolling the city. Like, I'm gonna be honest, they can just fuck off. I'm done.
am going to put the baton back in your hand, and I want you to think about this for a second, right? I, as an outsider, knew that Ventura did some shit. Oh yeah, that's right. He said some shit to Peters and told him to eat a dick in front of, or whatever the fuck, in front of people.
Called him a pussy.
Why was Peters and the rest of people having to baby hand Ventura by also getting on bike patrol?
We literally had to pull his keys, Ventura's keys, because so wouldn't do anything.
But why did everyone else do bike patrol with him so he wouldn't feel bad?
The bike patrol was not about that. Like, I don't know how many times, I'm sorry, like this is like the third time I've had to have this conversation. The bike patrol was not about that. The bike patrol was that I was telling Peters to do something in front of the undersheriff. Peters was just ignoring me, was not listening to what I was saying.
Yeah.
I have fucking Aspen standing next to me being like, wow, he's really kind of belittling you by ignoring you.
No!
And I told him to fucking get on bike patrol. I was annoyed. It had nothing to do with Ventura.
Okay. I believe you. But you see what I mean about politics, right?
Yeah.
Because what I saw was he did some shit.
They both had too much fun, and I was pissed off. They both had a great time on bike patrol. It wasn't a fucking punishment at all. Fucking dropping, enjoying themselves.
You need help, I think. I also understand that it's hard to come by. I have similar issues, right? My staff, is not around as much as they used to. Corolla, for example, I just got done with her. She's amazing, very capable, but she also needs help. It's hard to get it, right? It's hard to find people that are capable in the PD that maybe want to be cops, but understand that it's not all about shooty, drivey. You know what I mean? It's just we're dealing with a very difficult problem with population levels, and it affects every system, right? It's probably the same reason marshals are fucking shooting tanks at suspects. Wait, you don't know this yet either?
I don't want to know.
Well, you're gonna have to. Actually, let me see. Do you want to chat with me and Chief?
And who?
Judge Grayson.
Judge Grayson? Is she any good? Because from like what I've seen and heard, she doesn't know what the fuck she's doing.
She's better than all the other dumb fucks that decided to target you, me, and Peters, and then make it sound like we were targeting them.
Maybe I just have PTSD from all that. I just assume that all the justices are...
I think they're a little undercooked, right? They still need time. But we got to work with what we got. And so, they're not perfect, right? They want to bring back the marshals.
Doing all right?
I've had meetings with them where we can actually have a conversation and we did more in last Sunday's like meeting with all the different branches than I did with Angel and her friends over an entire term. So to me, that's progress. Also, disputes don't turn into like, anyways, I'm glad Weiss and Arcadia are in their positions. I do think it's a little strange, I will say, that they want to bring, they're under this like cope, I think, that they need to give the marshals shit to do because they're too bored with their current directive. And so my problem with that, and this is like, I think I think this is more of a governor thing, if I'm going to be honest. But like, I come to the position of like, well, why do you need to exist?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I get that you guys, like, you know what I mean? It's a cool idea. But right now, if your existence requires inserting more pogs into your SOPs, there's a bigger problem at play. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, I know what you're saying.
But
I
don't know how to tell them this without them thinking I'm trying to take away their powers.
The marshals, I fucking hate the marshals.
I think if there was more Craigs, I think we'd be in a better position. Even though Craig has his issues.
All right. Barrett's good.
Barrett is,
and I like Dark.
He's the only one that could debrief me about yesterday's situation. Because, whoa, why does the mayor not know about a threat to the city? You know what I'm saying?
I don't even know. Like, what happened?
And how do you not know? We're missing a massive...
I just woke up. Like, I haven't even looked at reports.
Like
I said, I took a couple days off because I needed to.
Yeah.
Threats to the DOJ. I'm assuming this is it. All right. I'll talk to Barrett about it and find out what the fuck happened. I'm sure that there's some officers that could fill me in on whatever happened yesterday.
Well, Grayson's on the way down, so we can hear it from the horse's mouth. But what I've been told is there's some terrorist known as the Faceless, who's like a charity case from like his, like, has a lot of money. Scotty from the DOC drove an inmate to see a grave, and that turned into in front of turned into them like breaking him out And then because this terrorist is involved and it includes helicopters, like attack choppers, they took out tanks, but then they used the tanks to shoot at Bolingbroke, which is the first thing I heard this morning. And I'm like, why are justices in tanks? And why did they think shooting tank shells at people makes sense, or at your building? You get what I'm saying? And so I'm hoping that I don't know. I don't know. So
yeah. Shit.
One thing before she comes, and I was gonna say this before. I hope that, and I said this to Peters too, because of what I did talk to him the past week. I was asking him why he's making decisions for the shifts. I am not going to question how you and him operate. Okay, I'm questioning it, but I'm not going to demand how you operate.
What do you mean he's making, like, what kind of decisions?
Like vehicle upgrades and all this kind of shit. I'm like, why are you doing it? Right?
Exactly. That's what I was talking to Trig about. I'm like, he does not give us a second, Grayson.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to be doing this kind of thing. I need him to just be focused on running the PD and looking at like the bigger picture.
I'm glad you said that, by the
way. Not worried about fucking car parts.
She saved me from the sexist remarks.
They do, I think, affect the quality of.
I need Moss around more often.
That is something that he should have delegated. Overseen, but delegated and had somebody else deal with it. And he is like freaking out about it.
Oh my God, you have no idea how much you just saved me.
And like, I think that's what he got frustrated with me about initially yesterday, because I know he's probably put a lot of time and effort into it.
He did.
But I told him yesterday, I was like, you gotta delegate. You can't take on.
But I mean, with your suspensions and your firings as well, right? Like,
that's what he should be focused on, is getting people in a room, getting command in a room and dealing with that, not dealing with fucking car parts.
Yeah.
That is what we need to be focused on right now, is our command. All right, I'm crashing out.
That's not, what the fuck? It's not crashing out.
This is me crashing
out. Where I'm coming with that, right, is I hope Maxwell wait on hiring and firing, and Ruby and Sky, which are making those executive decisions, but you guys are that counterweight to make sure they're not doing fuck shit, right?
Yeah.
Because you want to make sure that these guys who are there are not only like executing on your vision, but also feel ownership over it. Because Peters does feel like he is just his feelings don't matter. I will say, though, knowing Peters, he's also very defensive. I love him to death. But I think you need a number 2 to counterweigh him. Otherwise, you're going to fail.
What do you mean another, like
you need a co-ass chief.
You think I need 2 assistant chiefs?
I think so. Because I think you're trying to get Peters to be someone that he's not. Peters is amazing as an ass chief for what he does. But you also need, I think, somebody else to be your counterweight, to do these things that you're wanting Peters to do. But
I got just the guy.
Trig.
Finally.
Exactly.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, I love it. It is.
Trig and him are yin and yang.
They are the kind of the perfect balance.
Yes. Ass 1 and ass 2.
And
ass cheek 1 and ass cheek 2.
So Trig can rein Peters in.
I think Yes.
Two assistant chiefs, though?
Who cares? Why is it a problem?
It's not.
Ass cheek 1 and ass cheek 2.
That's so funny.
And I think Maxwell should be a captain if I'm going to be 100. If she fulfills filling out your command. But give her a reward structure. Do this, and then you will be promoted. Carrot and the stick.
I don't disagree with you about Maxwell. But let me see. The only thing is, like, I don't want to have too many members of high command, right? We're starting to like get up there in numbers.
Yeah, that is a good point.
Because Trig, I could put in that. He's already high command.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't want to bloat high command. Like BCS already has 5 members of high command.
I'm gonna make an argument for you.
Many.
You shouldn't worry about that because Maxwell is the voice for a big part of this department that probably only is around because of her.
Yeah,
genuinely.
I think Maxwell is, like, I know some people questioned when I wanted to promote her to lieutenant, but I stand by that. I think for what she and the other members of command, but mainly her, have done for Shift 1 and for LSPD, you know, it's night and day from when I started. And a huge part of it is Maxwell.
She is probably why LSPD went to go assist the community up north. She brings that care. You know what I mean? And if you want me to be 100, never mind. I'm so pissed with the BCSO. You have no fucking idea. Like, I am so mad. I am.
All right, let's table this.
Yeah.
Grayson's waiting.
Hey,